Another one, you know.
But out of all of those social networks, would you agree that YouTube is probably the best, or maybe it's not the best platform for the social media because the YouTube gives you the personality behind it, and I hear that YouTube has a better crawl, has a lot more for optimizing your website than those LinkedIn and some of those other platforms.
In a lot of ways it does, simply because now they are including YouTube videos in Google search. So certainly, yeah, it does increase your ranking. It does help your ranking over time. So yes, I think it is a very positive platform, especially for contractors, because it does give you a face to show the world so people can know, like, and trust you. But I would say Facebook would be first.
Really?
Because simply because on Facebook you can also plant your videos. Either on Facebook, you can upload them to Facebook, or include links to YouTube. Because when you include a link to a YouTube video, it shows a little preview on Facebook. It shows like a picture, like a still from the YouTube video. So I would say, YouTube is just an adjunct to help all of the other. So, but I would say Facebook would be first. That would be my opinion. Facebook first, YouTube next, and then the others beyond that.
Yeah, I would back it all the way out to just like a general search screen is the first place I'd be worried about, especially with your type of businesses. Right. Before I even get too lost in social media or Twitter and all those things, when you have a shrinking audience of people who are your target audience and your target customers, I think when the crop is getting smaller, the most important thing is just understanding where and when are you coming up in a search screen and what's coming up about you or reviews. So I would actually put just like Google as a platform, or search engines as my #1 priority. Then I would probably prioritize my maps as my second priority. Simply because you saw that the search screens are changing drastically, shifting much more towards a focus on the maps. So those are places where even if somebody's not into Facebook and somebody's not into YouTube and stuff like that, they certainly know how to just open up a search screen and do a search and see what comes out. So I would prioritize those as my #1 places to spend energy. So search screens, the maps, because the maps also integrate your YouTube videos and those types of things as well. And then I'd probably still go Facebook, then YouTube. So I'd go search screens, maps, Facebook, YouTube.
No, we did a survey, Constant Contact did a survey of small and mid-sized businesses earlier this year, and we asked them what tools were important to them to market their business, and 89% email. Now that's probably a little skewed because we kind of surveyed our own customers, but the Google and generic search was a key factor for most businesses. As far as social media goes, 51% of small businesses surveyed said that Facebook was the most important tool that they were using for marketing their business, and that was 2 to 3 times more than Twitter and LinkedIn. And those were probably the 3 big ones, and then blogs. The other key tool was blogs as well. Not as many for YouTube actually, but that's, again, just the people we surveyed were saying not as much YouTube.
Does anyone have statistics on
Yeah,
this?
most links or click-throughs, you're going to be in the teens.
Right.
So for 61% to do it, yeah, that's a pretty phenomenal number.
It is. It's very phenomenal. But what's interesting is that, I do a lot of video. I think I have maybe 60, 70 videos up, of events and product reviews and things like that. And whenever I put like a little note on Twitter or Facebook or whatever that says video, people are just drawn to that. I find that amazing, that they would take time to look at videos. But people just love that stuff. So the more you can integrate these live connection tools, the better.
And to further integrate, you mentioned that you're starting a Facebook page. Have that link now go rather maybe to your website. Maybe have it go to your Facebook page. Yep. So that way, when they think they're watching a video, you're bringing them to Facebook, and all of a sudden, wow, fan, I like it. I'm gonna promote. I want my friends to see this too. Right. That's how you start to integrate all the different systems together.
But make sure it's a business page, not your personal page.
Right. Depending on how your business is arranged.
Yep. Now, one other thing I want to mention, especially with social media, before you get into social media, make sure that your customers have a good customer experience, because one of the things about social media, you're not in control of what's being said. So people are going to say negative things as well as positive things. So before I would want to put my business on social media, I want to make sure they're having a good customer experience, so the vast majority of the comments are going to be positive comments, not negative ones. And that's true for any type of business.
I have to, transparency is helping.
Yeah, one of the things, nobody asked me the question, but one of the things I would have mentioned earlier in our session is sort of Facebook best practices, like what sort of things should you be putting out on Facebook? So an important thing is a lot of businesses, they get the Facebook up, and then they just kind of like keep like putting offers out, just kind of saying the same thing, or like, hey, we're here to help you, or like, hey, do you need your services today? Call us. It's the same thing we all were talking about, sort of like, think about what your audience is interested in. They're going to tune you out eventually if you're just saying the same thing over and over again, or if you're not providing value. So you want to look at Facebook as a place to build community and provide valuable or interesting things to your clients. Like Sweet Baby Ray's, the barbecue company, is one of my clients, and they were doing that. They were managing it themselves, and they were doing good, but everything was just like Wednesday night rib special, Thursday night this special, oh, come out on Sunday, this. And so I started telling them, like, look at different things, like out on YouTube there's interesting videos where like your actual like fans of Sweet Baby Ray's have gone and like made a video of them in a chicken costume or something, like running around singing a song about Sweet Baby Ray's. Maybe if that's not your brand, you don't want to go there, but that is kind of their brand. They're kind of like a barbecue company and that kind of stuff. So maybe every once in a while, like put a link to a video and be like, check out the video these fans made, hilarious.
Right.
So it's not selling,
Right.
It's community building.
Right.
It's giving somebody something interesting that they're going to come and see that and be like, that's a really cool video, and press I like that. And it's going to show up in their feed that they like it. Or they're going to send it out, they're going to repost it to their feed. So they're going to show that video to 500 of their friends. And 10 of their friends are going to like it, and then come back to the Sweet Baby Ray page and become a fan. Or maybe you're putting like, you see an interesting article about Chicago Bears. Like their audience is tailgaters, and people who want to have barbecue parties and stuff like that. What are they interested in? They're interested in sports. So put an interesting article from the Chicago Tribune about the Chicago Bears and be like, planning your tailgate party this weekend? Give us a call and we'll help you design your perfect menu. So you're kind of selling, but you're more looking at it as like, what's my audience interested in? They're not interested in just hearing you talk about what our specials are every night, incentive for something that's maybe not a traditional offer or a traditional product. So there's different ways to do it, but you don't want to be bludgeoning, you want to be building community.
And I think a restaurant that did something very similar, you're all aware of Superdog on like Devon and Milwaukee. It's a Chicago icon. And they have a Twitter feed, and they're very active, and they put out okay, who's going to win Bears-Pats game this last week? And they said, we're not partial, just put who it is. And I put it was going to be the Pats, of course. And I said, do I have to say it was the Bears in order to qualify for the drawing? And they came back and said, no, we understand, we're impartial and all that. And they were very conversational about it. It was hilarious. And then, they started following some of the things I was posting about the Bears, and, we had a conversation going on, and both of it, so it was getting posted in my feed as well as theirs, and my stuff was getting in their feed to a bunch of Chicagoland people who were interested in, and for me as a promotional products person, people who are interested in sports and teams and things like that, those are ideal clients for me. So certainly it's just getting in front of those people on a regular basis and on a subtle basis, that conversational where it's not hitting him over the head like he was mentioning.
Yeah, and maybe you can cross-promote. If you use a particular lighting store or paint supplier, maybe that person would give a coupon to use at their store, so you're providing value and relevance, but it's not costing you a penny out of your pocket. And it's helping the paint store or the lighting store because, again, they're now being exposed to your list. So it's a double benefit. You're winning, your customer is winning, the vendor is winning as well.
Yeah, it's the same way we were talking about exchanging links. You can exchange like Facebook page likes with other businesses too. Like if you can have reach out to another business, say, hey, can we like your business page and you can like ours. So that way if they do come somewhere, you're kind of cross promoting too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.